Okay, this is going to be the Algebra 2, Chapter 2, Absolute Value sample test for 2014-2015. You should have this sample test already, so go ahead and follow along. Make sure you have your calculator out. Okay. All right. It says state your solutions. All right. Clearly indicate your solutions on a graph. So here's what we're going to do. When we go ahead and solve these, all right, what we're going to do is we're going to go to graph. Now, in rule of thumb, is we're always going to graph the right side first. So I'm always going to graph that right side first. So I'm going to graph 8, and then I'm going to graph the absolute value of x minus 2. Now how do you get the absolute value? Option, num, which is F5, and ABS. And make sure you put parentheses, because if you don't put parentheses around it, it will calculate it differently. I hit execute and draw. Now, as you can see, my graph's all kinds of messed up. So I'm going to do F3, F3, exit, draw. Okay? And now, what I'm looking for are those intersections. Okay? All right? So what I do is I do G-solve, intersect. One of those is x equals 3 and y equals negative 8. All right? Now, since I have an x equals equation, I want x equals negative 3. This is all I want there. And then if I hit the over button, it jumps over to 13. So x equals 13 is the other answer. All right, that's my solutions. Now, as far as doing it on the graph, what you want to do, all right, as you can see, all right, 13, 8. So what I want to do is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm like right here, okay? 3, 8, or negative 3, 8. All right, so I'm 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, all right, all right. And then the other thing I want to do is I want to get my anchor point. Well, inside that, my anchor point's going to be at 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so what happens is this goes through there, this goes through there, and then I got a horizontal line connecting them right through. So you have to show the graph and write your answers. Okay, all right. If you want to, one of the things you can do, G-solve minimum, okay, and hit execute. I'm sorry, G-solve root will oftentimes tell you where it's actually graphed. Okay, so you can see that from there. Okay. All right, but that's how you do it. You go off of that. For this one, okay, for this one you do the same thing. So I'm going to go to exit. I'm going to graph x minus 3 on the right side first. On this other side, I'm going to do, I'm going to delete that. I'm going to do option num ABS. All right, 2 plus 3x. All right, draw. All right. As you can see, there's going to be no intersection there. All right, so because that's going to be G-solve intersect. As you can see, it says none. So this is going to be a no solution. All right, moving down to the next one. All right. Okay, once again, I'm going to go ahead and graph this one. All right, so I'm going to graph the right side first. So I'm going to put the fraction is 1 divided by 2. Okay. All right, I got ABS, so option num, ABS, all right, x minus 7, all right, plus 1, all right. On that other side, I got x minus 3, and I'm going to draw, and as you can see, I have an intersection. So I'm doing a G-solve intersect. I got 5, 2, all right, so I got 5, 2, so I got x equals 5, all right, that's part of my answer. I'm going to do 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up 2. Okay. Now, I want to graph some of these things. Well, I should be able to graph that one. That's 7, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7, 1. So when I do absolute value, it's going to go like this. All right. All right. And then to graph that line, all right, what you can always do is do G-solve y-intercept. All right. And what you do is you can see I've got that little black thing. I want to move that down here so it does that line. All right, that tells me 0, negative 3. Okay, 0, negative 3. So if I connect the dots there, this is what I have to show. Okay. If you would want to find the minimum there, G-solve minimum. Okay. All right. and it will tell you where the anchor point is. So G-solve minimum. On my previous example, that's what you got to do. All right, so if you do G-solve minimum, you just got to make sure which graph you want it to find it for. That's pretty much it. Okay. All right, moving on to this one. All right, once again, I'm graphing the right side first, so I'm graphing 2x plus 9. All right, and then I'm graphing 3, option, num, ABS, x minus 1. All right, and I'm drawing it, okay? All right, and I'm going to zoom out, enter, zoom out, enter, because I think I have two solutions there. So I got G-solve intersect. One of those solutions is x equals negative 1.2. All right, let's hold on one second and see if that will fix itself. Hold on one second. All right, so that's one of them, negative 1.2, 6.6. The other one is 12, 33. Because that's a little bit off the page, all we would be expecting you to do is write the answers here. So that's x equals negative 1.2, and x equals 12, 33. So this would be sufficient enough. We don't expect you to graph something that large, okay? Okay, so now we're going to get to the inequalities. Now, here's what you have to do. You have to state your solutions, clearly indicate them on the graph, and clearly indicate them on your number line. Okay, so here's how we do this. Once again, we're going to go back, exit, we're going to delete, we're going to delete. I'm going to graph this right side. Now, what you have to do here, make sure everything's cleared out. You want to select the type of inequality. Now, since we're graphing the right side first, we type in the exact inequality, okay? All right, so let me go back here. So I select type, which is F3, this button right here. Now I'm going to select this exact one I see, which is actually going to be this. Now what I do is I hit over and I graph 7. Now, what I'm going to do with the second one to graph the left side is I'm going to flip that inequality around. So type, all right, I'm going to select this one, I'm going to hit over, and now I'm going to type this in. Option, num, ABS, x plus 2, all right, minus 8. And I'm going to draw, okay? This is what I have. Now, let me explain how this works. Let's find the intersections. G-solve intersect. I got negative 17, okay? And on the number line, I can go ahead and put that, right? And then I got, my other intersection is 13. Okay? I got 13, all right? And so since these are open, or since this doesn't have a line underneath it, they're going to be open. And as you can see, the shading there, all right, the shading there is between, so it's between on here, okay? And here are my answers. My answers were, since that's to the right, that's going to be x is greater than negative 17, and x is going to be less than 13, okay? If I'm making a number line there, here's how I do that, all right? All right, so 13, 7, all right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So I would be like here, okay? Actually with a little open circle there, right? And then when it's negative 17, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Up that same amount, okay? So what I want to do is I want to have a line going through like this. Okay, if I want to graph, if I want to graph that and find that anchor point, that's G-solve minimum. All right, I want to make sure that I've selected that absolute value. Negative 2, negative 8, negative 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and the concept is that it goes through this. Okay, and where it's going to be shaded is going to be in here. Okay. That's where it's going to be shaded. So a graph, okay, basically match it up to look like that. Number line in there, write the inequalities there, okay? Let's go down to this one. Once again, I'm going to go back. Now here's the key thing. When you do this, you should delete both first, okay? All right, delete both of those first. Now, since that, I'm going to graph this right side, so I'm going to do type, okay, this inequality, okay, 2, all right, option, num, ABS, x minus 4, okay, flip the inequality around, type, now I'm going to go that other one, okay, 4x minus 1, draw, okay, all right, that's what I got. Now, if I do G-solve intersect, as you can see, I only have one intersection, all right? So, what this is going to be is it's going to be 1.5 with a closed circle going shading this way, all right? That's x is less than or equal to 1.5. If I'm making a number line, what I'm going to do is that intersection came at 1.5 comma 5. All right, so 1.5 comma 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so that's about right there. All right, I'm going to go ahead and do G-solve y-intercept. All right, I'm going to make sure, all right, that's 0, 8. Okay, so 0, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so I have a solid line going through that. All right, like that. Now I just got to graph the absolute value. Okay, G-solve minimum. I'm going to make sure I've chosen the absolute value part of it. It's going to tell me it's at 4, 0, which I should know already. All right, 4, 0. It's going to connect at that intersection point, so this is good enough for me. Okay, see your other teacher how much in detail they want you to graph every single point there. All right, let's go to this one. All right, now, all right, let's go back. So what I'm going to grab and delete both of these. All right, delete, delete. Okay, so I'm going to graph, the first one I'm going to graph is the type I'm going to choose, type. I'm going to choose this exact inequality, so I got that with 6. This next one I'm doing option num, ABS. First I'm putting x in parentheses, then I'm putting plus 8, okay, and I'm going to draw it, okay. Now, as you can see here, all right, the intersection is this, and you have to be careful, okay? All right? So, I don't see a direct intersection here. Now, what you want to do, okay, is sort of look at it this way. If I got the absolute value by itself, okay, is the absolute value ever going to be less than -2? Okay, absolute value is always positive, okay, so this is going to be all so this is going to be no solution, okay? Because absolute value is always positive. Can a positive number ever be less than -2? Never, so that's why this is no solution, okay? Right? And as you can see, there's no intersection as well in the graph there, okay? There's no intersection in the graph there. The shading is below -2 and my absolute value. Let me zoom in so you can see a little bit better. Okay, as you can see, they don't even intersect. All the shadings down below, nothing's even going near absolute value. So that's why it's a no solution. Okay, the same thing here. Okay, all right. If I go in and oh, whoops, I did that wrong. I'm sorry. Type. Let me go back. Type. Let me delete this. I did this wrong. Hold on one second. That should be deleted. All right. Let's make sure that I did this right for you. All right. So I should have flipped around the inequality the other way. All right. So type inequality should have been going that way. All right. So let's do option num ABS x. All right, plus 8, and draw. Okay. Once again, you see no intersection there at all. So that's another reason why you don't see anything. Okay. Coming down to here. Sorry about that. So I'm going to delete this. I'm going to delete this. All right. I'm going to graph the type. This one. All right, which is -24. All right, and I'm going to do 2. Whoops. Exit, let me do type. I'm going to switch that inequality around, all right? So now I got 2, option, num, ABS, 8, x plus 27. I'm going to draw, okay? Let me zoom out, enter, zoom. Zoom auto also works. So as you can see, they went to shade it and there's no common intersection there. So this is no solution. The other thing that you can know is that with that, if you moved over the 2, okay, you got an absolute value being less than -12, all right, that's always going to be a positive number. Can an absolute value ever be there? No, that's why it's no solution, okay? That's why it's no solution. All right, moving on to the absolute value equations and inequalities. One thing I recommend you do is write down what these are. These are an inequality, okay? This is an inequality, okay? This is an equation, okay? This is an equation, okay? So what you need to look at is first what we do in order to find this, this amount inside, okay? What we want to find is how far these are apart, okay? So if you want to, you can count the spaces, okay? And you'll figure out that if you count the spaces, that's going to be 14 spaces. And what I want to do is I want to go halfway. So I do 14 divided by 2, which is 7. So I'm going to go 7 in from there, okay? So what I would put me at is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So that would put me right there, all right? Now, what is that number right there? Well, that's 4. We put x minus 4 in here. Now, why do I put minus 4? It's just like the anchor point, opposite for x. All right, now, what do I do with that number? That 7 becomes part of my answer here, okay? And what I'm going to do to figure out the inequality is I'm just going to look at this far right point, all right? And since it's going less, that's all I have to do. So that's going to be x is less than 7, okay? Same thing here. What I want to do is figure out how far are these away. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, that's 8 away. I'm going to divide by 2. I'm going to get 4. Now, I'm going to count 4 spaces in. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so where is that at? That's at 5. So when I make my absolute value, all right, I'm going to put minus 5. Where does that 4 also comes into play is that's going to be part of my inequality. Now, since it's going to the right, I want to pick greater than or equal to, okay? So all I do is I look at what's this one doing, it's going to the right, and that's how I get that answer, okay? This one's an equation, so I can go ahead and put those equal signs right off the bat. And I count my spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Once again, 8. I'm going to divide that by 2, I get 4. So now I want to move 4 spaces in. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so that puts me here. That's at 3. So when I make mine, it's x minus 3, and that result of 4 is there. Since it's an equation, I don't have to worry about the shading. Okay? All right, for this one, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so I got 10 spaces. 10 divided by 2 would be 5. Okay? All right, I'm sorry, I didn't do that right. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, something's not right there. I don't think there's a mistake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this should actually be over here. Okay, just to let you know, that should be at 9. All right, so ignore that dot for a second. I was wondering why there was a mistake there. So that's going to be 11. 11 divided by 2 is 5.5. All right, since I know it's an equal sign, all right, what that's going to do is I'm going to move 5.5 spaces in. All right, I think these choices might not be right here. So I'm going to move 5.5 spaces in. So it's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And I would be right here, okay? All right, which I don't think these choices line up with what we have. Okay, I see what they, no, those don't line up what we have. So go ahead and skip that problem because it's 11 spaces divided by 2. So those aren't right there. Because this, yeah, all right, so that would put me at 0.5. So let's go ahead and make this anyway. So that's going to be x minus 0.5 equals um, equals 5.5. Okay. Actually, 5.5 spaces wouldn't be there, would it? Hold on. Sorry about that. 5.5 spaces would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Would be right here, which would be 1, 2. That'd be 3.5 would be that. So what I would have is I'd have x minus 3.5. All right, equals, all right, my 5.5 spaces. So please ignore these answers. Okay, those aren't correct there. I don't know. That would be 29. That'd be 14. That would be 18. That would be 3.5. That'd be 14.5. That would be 1.75. All right, yeah, this would be my answer. So ignore the multiple choice. That's not right. So let me sum that up. Sorry for the confusion. All right, if I counted those spaces, that's 11. Okay, divide by 2 would be 5.5. All right, moving back 5.5 would put me here. So I'm opposite in that way, and the 5.5 would go there. Sorry about that. Okay, moving on. You could do a couple of things here. All right, once again, if you want to graph. Now, since these are already with y, okay, since these are already with y, I can go back. Let me delete these. All right, I'm going to delete these. So what I'm going to do is, since it's already, I'm going to graph the right side with the exact inequality. So type inequality. I'm going to do that exact 1, 2, option. All right, num, ABS. All right, x. All right, plus 5. All right, I draw it. Okay, and as you can see, it's shaded below. Now, if you want to F3, exit draw. All right, you can see that. G solve minimum. Okay, it can tell you 0, 5. So 0 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up. We know that when we do our normal ones, it's like this. All right, since I got the 2 there, it's 2, 4, 2, 4. Okay, so I'm 1 right, 2 up, 2 right, 4 up. All right, same thing over here. All right. All right, I'm going to have a dot, a dashed line, and we've already seen the shading. Shading's going to be out here. Okay. On this one, my anchor point is 1, -3. Now, if you want to check that, that's okay. You can do that now. I'm going to delete. All right. So I'm going to use that exact inequality. All right, that's going to be x minus 1 squared minus 3, and draw. Okay, that's what I got. So if you want to do G solve minimum, it tells you 1, -3, so 1 over -3 down. Okay, my normal points are 1, 2, -1, -2, and they're 1, 4, 1, and 4. Okay, so 1 right, 1 up, 2 right, 1, 2, 3, 4 up. Same thing on this one. Okay, I'm going to have a dotted line again, and I already saw where it's got shaded. It's right in there. Okay. All right, moving on. All right, so for this one, this inequality. All right, since it's below my graph, that's going to be y is less than, because it's a dashed line, because everything is below. Then all I got to do is, all right, my anchor point is going to be 1, 2. So I'm going to have x minus 1, all right, plus 2, okay? Now, I got to look at my points. Normally I'm 1, 1, 2, 2, -1, -1, -2, I'm sorry, -2, 2, 1, 1. Ignore that. That's a 1. So if I go 1 right, I'm still 1 up. If I go 2 right, I'm still 2 up. So that's good to go there, okay? Let's look at this one. Okay, as you can see, everything's above that, so that's going to be y is greater than or equal to, because that's solid. It's solid. Okay, my anchor point here is 0, -1, so I'm going to have this. All right, now I look at my normal points. What are my normal points? 1, 1, 2, 4, -1, 1, -2, 4. Okay, all right, now if I go 1 right, it's 1, 2 down. Okay. All right, I don't get the other one, so I got to make a decision. Well, the only way you can go from that to that is multiplying by -2. And so that's what you put out there, okay? A couple of the graphs. Once again, let's not forget what we learned, -4, -2. Label your anchor, okay? Label your arrow, okay? So I should be able to do this. Domain, smallest x is -4, okay? I get that because it's an anchor point. Biggest one is that. So when I write the domain, it's x such that, I look at that thing, it's eating the x. That's what I got there. What's my smallest y? My smallest y is -2. My biggest y is infinity. Once again, this is what I'm looking at. So I've got y such that y is greater than or equal to 2. Okay? The zeros, it crosses at x equals -3 right here. That's going to be -3, 0. The y-intercept crosses right there. That's 0, 2. All right, increasing, decreasing intervals. Okay? All right, so I start from the left. That's all increase. So -4 to infinity, there is no decrease, okay? As x approaches infinity, my y is also infinity, and this is none. So that's sort of a review problem from last chapter. So sorry about some of those confusions with that stuff. Just the multiple choice there doesn't work. But watch that video. The key thing is, couple key things to remember, I would say main key things, is when you graph the right side first with that inequality. When you graph that side, flip that inequality around. Okay, you can use minimums to find the vertices and all that kind of, or the anchor points if you need to. So use that, you should be fine.